Hello everyone, today is 1st of February. My name is Sahil and welcome to the newspaper analysis. Guys, first of all, let's have a look on today's GS folder. So today we will be taking a quote from the Robert Peel, who had been the former Prime Minister of the UK. Friends, he had talked about the importance of the protest and agitations into a democracy. He says agitation is the marshalling of the conscience of a nation to mold its laws. Now, guys, when we talk about the democracy as a political system, it has been called as the government by the people. And when the people believe some law to be discriminatory or some law to be unprogressive, then they can put forward their dissent via the agitations or the protest. Now, guys, this particular thing has even been recognized into the fundamental rights of the Indian Constitution, into the article number 19, and even the Supreme Court into the Ram Leela Maidan incident versus the Home Secretary case has said that right to protest, right to agitate is a fundamental right and cannot be taken up. So, guys, such a kind of a spirit has been recognized way and time, and this thing should also be taken up into the consideration right now as the spate of protests are going on. So, guys, that is all into this particular aspect. And now let's take the newspaper analysis. Now, guys, first of all, one disclaimer as today the budget is going to be announced. So, therefore, entire newspapers are fixated onto the speculation that what will be coming into the budget. So, much of the news articles have not been there. And the major budget highlights already we will be going to take up into the tomorrow's newspaper analysis. Now, guys, the first article it has been taken up from the Mint newspaper as well as from the Business Standard newspaper, and it talks about the recent decision that the government is going to take with respect to the regularization of the cryptocurrency. So, guys, what has happened recently into the Lok Sabha bulletin? It has been announced that the government is going to bring the cryptocurrency and regulation of official digital currency bill 2021. Now, this particular bill will be regularizing the cryptocurrencies such as the bitcoins into the India. Now, guys, when we talk about the status of the cryptocurrency in India, then originally in 2018, the Reserve Bank of India banned the cryptocurrencies, entailing that it has a very high risk and it is not banked by the any central bank. So, therefore, it will be a risky investment. However, the 2020 March, the Supreme Court again allowed the cryptocurrencies, and after that, there were large number of people who started to transact into the cryptocurrencies, guys. And as of today, there are approximately 7 million number of people who have being traded into the cryptocurrencies, and a monumental increase into their valuation has also been seen. Now, this particular bill is proposing that all these privately held cryptocurrencies will be banned and an official digital currency will be launched by the Reserve Bank of India. And by this particular thing, India will be joining an elite club where the central bank itself has started up the digital currencies. It is called as the central bank regulated digital currencies. China is already running a pilot project into that particular line, and India will also be joining. Now, guys, as you might have seen about the cryptocurrencies, and many a times into one newspaper analysis, we have also seen that what they are. So, we have seen that these currencies are recorded onto the blockchain, which is a decentralized ledger or a decentralized record. Now, when the Reserve Bank of India will be coming with such a digital currency, it will be located onto the Bharat chain, which will be a kind of an Indian blockchain. Now, guys, further talking into this particular direction, exact details, exact framework of regulation will be released by the government. And up till now, basically, most of the things are not clear. So, this will be a development which will be coming into the days to come. So, guys, please be prepared for this thing. So, that is all. And now we will be moving to the next article. Now, guys, this particular article has been taken from the Hindu newspaper, and it is talking about the problems that India is going to face into the abortion. Now, this particular topic is very much important for our GS paper number 1 under the topic of women related issues, as well as in GS paper number 2 under the social justice. See, guys, when we talk about the abortion in India, so there is a little bit kind of a history into this direction. Originally, the abortion was banned under the section number 312 of the IPC. Aborting was called as intentional miscarriage, and therefore it was not allowed. However, guys, over the period of times, it was observed that not giving a right to abort to the women is a kind of a violation of their fundamental right, because at the end of the day they also have the right to their reproductive behavior. And into this direction, in 1971, government came out with the medical termination of pregnancy act, and this particular act provided some kind of relaxation for the women to abort. And section number 3 of this MTP 1971 Act provided that up to 12 weeks, a woman can abort a fetus after the advice of any one doctor. And from 12 to 20 weeks, with the advice of two doctors, the fetus can be aborted. And guys, beyond the 20 weeks, it was not allowed into the 1971 Act. And this particular provision was criticized over the period of time. It was said that actually the fetus's abnormalities or the problems or the life threatening conditions, they are discovered after the 20 weeks time only. Moreover guys, sometimes if the child is the outcome of a rape or sexual assault, then what is to be done? This thing was also not taken up into the 1971 MTP Act. So therefore, into this direction guys, in 2020 government came out with the MTP Amendment Bill 2020, which has some different kind of provisions. Number one, it says that a woman can abort a child up to 20 weeks only after the advice of the one doctor, and from 20 to 24 weeks pregnancy can be aborted after taking the advice of the two doctors. However guys, this particular 2020 bill also carried a category that into some life threatening conditions, if the child is an outcome of a rape or a sexual assault, even beyond 24 weeks also the abortion can be allowed. And into that direction, the permission was to be taken from a medical board which will be constituted for this specific purpose. Now guys, this particular medical board will be having one gynecologist doctor, one radiologist or sonologist doctor, one pediatrician, and some other members which will be prescribed by the government. Now, it has been seen that such kind of medical board is needed, but guys, if we make a kind of a real time analysis, then guys, a report has been prepared by taking up the data from the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Now, it has said that from 2015 and 2019, there has been a severe shortfall onto the post with respect to this medical board. It has been seen that the 71% to 82% of the post into these medical boards, they are lying vacant. And into the northeast, the problems are even more stark, such as the Arunachal Pradesh and Meghalaya. They had the 100% shortage of the pediatricians, and these particular boards are not being able to be constituted. So therefore, this is a very practical problem that the government is going to face into the abortion. And at the end of the day, though into the letter there is a law, but into the spirit it will not be implemented. So guys, such is the problem, that how the poor implementation is rendering the social justice ineffective. Now when we talk about the GS paper number 2, especially guys, the appraisal of the social justice schemes has been talked about. So there into the example you can mention the case study from the MTP 2020. So guys, that is all into this particular direction. I hope that you have understood it, and now we will be going to the next article. Now, guys, this particular article has been taken from the Hindu newspaper, and it is talking about building a robust healthcare system. And here, some of the examples from Tamil Nadu has been taken up. Now, guys, it has been seen that into the aftermath of pandemic, everybody is talking about making a robust healthcare, which will be a very big necessity in order to deal with the future pandemics. Now, guys, when the robust healthcare is being talked about, the status varies from state to state because health has been a state subject, and the progress of the different states can be judged onto the basis of various health indicators such as the IMR, the MMR, the total fertility rate, etc. And guys, specifically the sustainable developmental goal number 3, which we have taken up in 2015, provides that India needs to achieve the good health and well being. So therefore the state governments need to do very much hard onto this aspect. Now guys, it has been provided that already we have failed onto the millennium developmental goals onto the health, and the reason was the poor performance of the North Indian states. Now guys, even the South Indian states have performed very good, but due to the poor North Indian states, the average becomes very much moderate, and government is also satisfied with this average performance. It is not asking the accountability of the North Indian states. It has been provided that guys, the North Indian states are involved into the less relevant issues such as the protection of cow, love jihad, etc. And here some of the datas have been given. And here we can see that the infant mortality rate is very much disturbing into the states such as the Madhya Pradesh. Guys, here you can see that the Madhya Pradesh is having the IMR of 48, whereas it is just 7 into the Kerala. Similarly, into the Uttar Pradesh, the MMR is 197 compared to Kerala's 42 and Tamil Nadu's just 63. And the percentage of deliveries by the untrained professional is also very high into the states such as Bihar, where 190 times more untrained professional deliveries are there compared to the Kerala. After that, guys, there are other parameters also which we can see, that is the total fertility rate. In Bihar, it is 3.2, and the stabilization rate is supposed to be 2.1. And guys, Tamil Nadu and Kerala have done very much good into this direction, and they are achieving the stabilization rate. So, into this particular aspect, now it has been said that the accountability of the North Indian states has to be taken up. Now, into the article, you can see that the example of the Tamil Nadu has been taken up as how Tamil Nadu has scaled up the health infrastructure into their state, and the similar thing can be utilized into the North India also. Number one, it has been provided that the political leadership has been enlightened as well as interested in improving the health of the citizens. And into this particular direction, the government has focused onto the healthy competition among the districts, where the districts were given the specific targets and the good performers were also even rewarded. And guys, into this particular direction, the Tamil Nadu has achieved the very good total fertility rate, and the total fertility rate here is 1.6, which is comparable to the Germany, that is at the rate of 1.57. It total fertility rate means that one particular woman is giving to birth to how many of the children. So it is 1.57. Now, guys, basically this thing has not been highlighted into this article, but if I tell you, this is not entirely very good also, because it has been said that the sustainable total fertility rate needs to be 2.1. That is, there will be one woman, one husband, she will be giving birth to the 2.1 children, so that into the long term, when they will die, these two children will replace them. And if the 2.1 total fertility rate is achieved into the long term, a sustainable population growth comes. So even the 1.57 is not that good also. However, guys, moving forward, so it has been provided that the government needs to create a kind of a partnership where the center government as well as empowered action group states, that is the states from the North India which are not performing good, they are needed to become into an agreement, and these empowered action group states, they are needed to be given a specific targets that they have to do such kind of things, so that our SDG can be achieved and their accountability is to be asked. Now, guys, already if it has happened into the Tamil Nadu, other states can also do it. It has been provided that, guys, when we talk about the economy, it is not that how much of the FDI we are getting, rather how much human capital we are having, it will be helping in. So therefore, the sustainable and the good robust healthcare system is the very much necessity. So guys, that is all about this article, and now we will be moving to the next article. Now, guys, this article has been taken from the Hindu newspaper, and it is talking about the problem of the aging dams in India. Now, this article can be utilized into the GS paper number 3 under the topic of the infrastructure. Now, see, when we talk about the dam infrastructure, it has been called as one of the basic and the keystone infrastructure because it ensures large number of things. It can provide the sustainable water supply. It can provide the water for the irrigation projects, for the electricity generation. It can play an important role. But today, India's water security is being threatened by the dam. Why? Because the dam are aging, and into the aging dams, the problem of siltation becomes very much problematic. Guys, siltation, it is a mud that gets deposited in below the dam. Now, when we talk about India, India is the third largest country in terms of the dam. There are 5200 dam, and out of it, approximately 1100 dams, they are 120 to 50 years old, and into them the siltation has been carried to a very big extent. And guys, by 2050, approximately 4400 dam, or the 80% of the dam of India, will be obsolete because of huge siltation which would have been carried into them. Now, guys, when the siltation is large, it reduces the carrying capacity of a dam. So even with every coming year, the dam's carrying capacity reduces, then its response to generation of the hydroelectricity, it will get reduced. It will not be able to provide much of the irrigation water, and all these consequences. And at the same time, guys, the aging dams, they are also prone to the destruction, damages, cracks, etc. Now, guys, into the article, it has been provided that even the government has not been able to estimate the extent because the government's studies have always been flawed. Guys, there was one particular study that was published into the EPW, that is the Supply Side Hydrology Last Gasp Report, and according to it, it has been said that the Bhakra Dangal Dam, it has basically the siltation is 140% higher into it than the originally assumed capacity. So Indian government has also not been able to estimate. Originally it was assumed that the 88 years of the life will be there, but guys, actual life of this particular dam will be 47 years. And into the same direction, the other dams are also receiving high level of siltation. For example, the Hirakud, the Methan dam, Gold dam are very much high into the siltation. You can see 141%, 808%, 426%. These are more than what government estimated. And guys, all this particular thing translate into the bad consequences. Number one, the supply of water gets choked. By this, the net sown area or the agricultural crop productivity will go down. And guys, when the water from irrigation will not be available, the farmer will either be completely dependent onto the rain, by which his vulnerability will increase, or he will be exploiting the groundwater, which is unsustainable. Then guys, it has been seen that the dams have acted as a flood cushion because they absorb the excess of rainfall, excess water supplying flowing into the rivers. But such a flood cushion also gets destroyed because by the siltation the carrying capacity gets reduced. And such kind of ish problem has even been seen into the flooding of the Bharuch in 2020, the flooding in Kerala in 2018. They were partly because of the low carrying capacity of water into the dams. So therefore, urgently government needs to give much of the focus onto the dams repair, dams upgradation, and development of the new dams into this direction. So guys, that is all about this particular article, and now we will be moving to the next article. Now, guys, this article has been taken from the Hindu newspaper, and as the 30th of the January was the death anniversary of the Mahatma Gandhi, it is talking about some of the Gandhian ideas. Now, guys, this particular article had called the Gandhian philosophy as Gandhian nobility of spirit, and the central idea into the Gandhian nobility of spirit or Gandhian philosophy was the idea of empowerment of others. Guys, Gandhiji believed that the empowerment should be transcending the gender, race, class, creed, ethnicity, or any such kind of things. And according to the Gandhiji, democracy is a very suitable tool. It is not only a political system, rather, it is a social and political institution which can work for the empowerment of all. Now, guys, when we talk about the empowerment can be done by allowing others to express freely whatever they believe, whatever their ideas are. It should not be dated. And guys, into this particular thing only, the entire purpose of the human life can be attained. Now, guys, this is the entire idea of this particular article. However, into the article, some very good expressions, the writing sketch style has been very much good. So, I will recommend you that go please read this particular article because the expressions have been good, and the expressions cannot be carried into the objective facts. So, therefore, you should yourself read this particular thing. So, guys, that is all into this direction, and now we will be moving to the next article. Now, guys, this particular article has been taken from the Hindu newspaper, and here we can see that the India, in pursuit of its look west diplomacy, had provided some of the crane infrastructure to the Iran for their Chabahar port. Now, guys, this particular thing can be used as a symbolic expression for two things. Number one, always the Iran has been very much instrumental for us. Why? Because, guys, the Iran's Chabahar port will be providing us an accessibility to the Afghanistan. Guys, though we are sharing the border with the Afghanistan, but the border is not accessible. So India had taken up a master plan that the Chabahar port will be developed. From the Chabahar port via the land connectivity, that is from Chabahar to Zahedan, from Zahedan to Zaranj, and from there to Haji Kak, we will be developing the connectivity into the Afghanistan. Guys, this particular route will also be helping us to reach with the Central Asia. So therefore, the Chabahar port has been very much important to India. Secondly, guys, as now the leadership into the USA had been changed, and the Joe Biden is indicating that he will be renegotiating the nuclear deal with the Iran, so that, guys, now the Iran can come out of with the sanctions and can provide much important hydrocarbons to India. And into that direction also, India wants to show some good symbolic gestures, and therefore had provided such kind of infrastructure. So, guys, these particular kind of things, though a full-fledged answer onto this thing only will not be there, but guys, this entire spirit of relation is important, and there we can use some kind of such kind of references. So, guys, that is all about the major highlight of this particular issue. So, guys, that is all for today. I hope that you are liking the initiative and the articles are proving fruitful for your preparation. That's it. Thank you so much.